What is up, guys? Alex here, and welcome back to another episode of Minecraft Survival. Last episode, me and Dylan went to the Nether and had a terrible time exploring, and yeah, that's about it, in the Bastion. Go and see that to explain how I lost all my armor and had to remake everything. But it's alright, because I've got some better stuff now, kind of. I've got, I don't have my efficiency 4 axe anymore, which is a bit annoying, but whatever. And in the episode before it, which was what we were actually doing, is I was working on this. Now, I think this design is alright. I think I'm going to stick with it for the moment because it'll probably look alright in the end. Because you won't be able to see it that much from up here and it'll be hidden by that. Now, we also need a railing along here going down to the steps. Either side actually, so I will put that in probably this episode. We won't be working too much on this today. I might build up that house slightly, but what we're actually going to do is we're going to go into the trading hall. Now what I've done here is added a basement, which was meant to be mined out ages ago, but I only just got around to it. So here we are, an Enderman has been here and stolen everything. Horrible. Hello, cows. So I've mined this out, and what I was planning to do after I've fixed all the walls and the ceiling and whatnot was add some kind of automatic smelter system using minecarts and both smokers and blast furnaces. Now the problem with that is smokers only do, I believe, animal products, and blast furnaces only do kind of iron or mineral deposits or whatever. So the problem with that is we wouldn't be able to smelt cobble into stone because for some reason, Mojang didn't decide to add that for the blast furnace. Now, this room is actually quite big. I can't extend it that way anymore because we've reached the end of the wall, so that's a no-no. The wall will have to come down here, at least down here a few blocks, and then some kind of upside down stone slab, kind of like, I say stone slab, I mean some kind of stair underneath that. And the same kind of goes for this wall. We can bring this one down a bit more, probably replace it with stone brick, because that's going to be right next to the stairs on the outside, so we need to work that in a bit differently. As for this wall, we can extend it as far as we need, so I probably will do that, because we'll need blast furnace, smokers, and then normal furnaces for stone. And aside from that, I am also going to need to change the ceiling, because we can't have that as a pattern really, because it looks terrible. Or I might be able to work it into some kind of other pattern, maybe so it looks kind of like a ladder. I don't know. Work in progress. The only problem with that is I believe that's right next to the top of the ground outside. So we'll probably need to bring it down a block or a half slab, which is a bit of a nightmare. Right, so if we measure out this, what it's going to be, there's going to be a wall here, then we'll need a block on the outside. No, actually, hang on. No, the wall will be there, because it will be coming down to there and probably going up there. We need a block on the outside for us to walk around. We need a way for the mine carts and the hoppers, which can go there because we need stuff on the back. I think we need 2 layers of minecarts. We need one for the coal and fuel and one for the actual blocks. So that'll be there. Minecarts can go on to there. So that's the 2 blocks. And then we need some kind of covering. So say, since we're going to be there, we'll go like that and then bring it over. But probably a bit higher than that. Maybe like that. Yeah, that'll be the first one, and that gives us enough room for this. So what we could do is also have that like so, and then mirror it on the other side. Now, 2 blocks. Since this is going to be automatic, it's not going to be too big of an issue where the walkways are, because we'll just throw it in a chest, maybe up there or over there. I don't know how we're going to get to it easily, because that ladder's a bit of a nightmare to get to. What we could do, actually, now that I think about it, is also add some kind of way through here. I don't know where this is going to come out, but seems to be in a decent position. Okay, that's not that bad actually. Perfect. Wonderful. Obviously this is down one, but that's I think that's workable. That is workable actually. Nice. Okay, perfect. And this can also be the connection to the underground from those houses. Lovely. And this was easier than I thought. So I'll measure it out, and then I'll figure out how to make the blast furnaces and smokers. And I'll also dig it out. Okay. See you in a minute. I just wanted to point out, Dylan went to the lush caves and found this flower. So I put it on the church because I thought it'd look quite nice. And it does, it looks nice. But what are these kind of spores that are falling off it? And what do they do? They've kind of created some kind of weird atmosphere around here. That's supposedly planting stuff. I don't know what it does. Let me know. Right, so I've been working on this a bit more and I'm finding it more difficult than anything I've ever done. Well, I say ever. Mostly more difficult than most things I've done. And the problem is, because it's 2 blocks, I'm having difficulty fitting, or at least trying to fit in some kind of windows. I'm not entirely sure how to work. I'd say it would be full blocks of glass on the inside, or maybe even fence posts. I just don't know. Fence posts there and there maybe, and then some stairs. And the thing is, this is 3 blocks tall, so it's going to be 2.5 blocks. So the glass is probably going to be on the inside, and we'll probably have a fence post there, and maybe even there, and some kind of stair holding it up. I'm not sure yet, but I do want plant pots on these bits here now, dotted about, like we have up here. But that wouldn't mean I'd need to redesign this a bit, because you can't have the fence post and the flower pot on the inside, because that would make it so that you wouldn't be able to place the trapdoors there. So I'd probably get rid of the fence posts on these blocks and leave them on here, or maybe swap them around and put them on there. But no, that wouldn't. I don't even know. This is such a unique work in progress, that thing that I've done. It's all up in the air right now. I'm not entirely sure. But what I have done, this is where the door's going to be, definitely. There's probably going to be one door at the end. But what I have done is extend the actual stone foundations down here a bit, so that when you see it from afar, it actually looks like it's digging into the mountain, and that does work quite well. On a final note, I'm not entirely happy how this looks. I think it might be better if we put a stair on the edge there, just so it kind of comes out a bit, so that there's more of a step up, so that it looks like it's slightly more supported by beams going across that way. But that's also up in the air, which is a bit annoying. So yeah. And because this comes out one more on the upper level, I've had to shove that in slightly by 1, just so we can have a gap here. Because this is only really going to be 1 floor. I don't want it to be too big. I do want a basement though, so I'll probably put that around this side. Right, so I've worked on this a bit, and I think I have it just about how I want it. Apart from I need to add some sort of chimney space there. Yeah, so we have the smaller house, which is quite difficult to do actually, because I need to manage it for windows, a chimney, which will probably be there, and also having it essentially 1 story high. So it'll go up to about, maybe it'll go 1 higher, and then the roof will be there. So we need to keep it somewhat low, probably lower than this one. And the problem with this one is it's going to need to be quite high to actually make the roof look decent. So it kind of almost will ruin the view. As for this house, this is a little easier to do, because all we need to do is add the fences at the bottom there, which are going to be a bit of a nightmare, and bring the grass down so that it spreads all the way over there. Obviously, there's going to be no windows here because it's facing this house. Now, I was thinking whether I should have a window here or not, and I'm still debating that. I'll probably remove it at some point because it's a 4-block wide. There's really not much of a point to have it. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe you could have a lantern outside. So here, I didn't really want to make these 3 wide. Mostly because there wouldn't be a point, especially with shaders. When the sun's coming over this way, you'd only really hit it here, and it'd already be streaming in here because the angle when it here, which is about 11 a.m. ish, yeah, and then here as well. I didn't want this to be exposed, which is a bit weird. Admittedly, I might vary that up a bit, but I'm not too sure yet. It's all a work in progress. Right, so I've been working on this a decent amount more, and I've got this house mostly done. I decided to put a tiled copper roof on there just to see how it would look. I understand that these kind of low class, like working class houses wouldn't really have copper roofs, but I kind of just wanted to mix it up a bit. Because otherwise, having all 3 buildings with the same roof material just seems it'll be a bit bland probably. So I did that, and the limitation here is the room we have, so I couldn't extend it over this way one. So what I've had to do is add these kind of extensions just here, these overhangs, just so it kind of hides the connection, because it doesn't look very good, or at least didn't. As well as that, I extended it one this way because it didn't look very good. You could just see the going from wood to copper, and that the same here, and it didn't look nice. And I'm actually quite happy with this because it really closes it in, and as in it's completely touching this. Although it doesn't obscure the view from that, kind of, which is lucky. Now, as we go on the inside, I've just made this kind of kitcheny area with a fire pit. I'm going to adjust this at some point. Now, with regarding a chimney, I don't really know how to do this. I've just put iron bars there at the moment. I don't know how I'm going to do this properly because Minecraft is so big and blocky that even putting these tiled blocks up here, like 3 blocks, I don't think it'll look very good. And the other problem with these blocks is you can't make stairs or slabs out of them, so it makes it really difficult to do intricate detailed work with them, which is annoying. As well as this, I've extended this design that I showed at the start of the episode right over to there, and I'm pretty comfortable with it now. I need to put in the trapdoors around the back. The only reason I haven't continued working on it is because I basically ran out of wood, and I'm going to need to chop down a lot more trees to get that back. So I'll finish off this front facade and get back to you. Right, I think I've just about got it. I've extended this all the way and sorted out the bottom windows, but all things considered, it's not that bad, is it? It looks quite decent. What I'm going to do is put half slabs on top of here just to bridge it over the middle, and then it should be all right. Now if we jump down here on the bed, as you can see, I've put this I've doubled the fence up and then put the stone brick walls next to it just so it can kind of corner off, so you can see in and the fence isn't cut off halfway. And I think that looks better than what it did. I've also fitted this with actual proper materials now instead of cobblestone, and it looks a bit better with the stone arches as well, so that's good. The only problem I had is that this was slightly off center here, but it's not that big of a problem, I don't think. No, not really. Yeah, the other problem I had was this. Now on the other side, this is extended diagonally to that one, but I couldn't do it here because it's offset by 1, and it's just 1. It's not like 2, so I can maneuver it and put something there, like a new window. Just 1. So yeah, I had to do some weird things here. It's not that bad. I'm going to work on this a bit more, but I think it's probably best to do this side first before we work on the sides, just so we know what we're working with each side, so I can link up the top first. The bottom will be easy, that's just a couple windows, but the top one, just because it's offset each side, it's going to be a bit of a nightmare. So yeah, I'll bring up this side. So here we are, it's basically done now, at least this side, and I think it looks alright. I've still got the issue of that being different to that side, which is a bit OCD-ish, but if I wanted to fix that, I'd have to rip it all down and replace the entire foundations with a different layout. And frankly, I'm not going to do that. I've added this railing here just so people don't walk off, and I put a lantern there, and I think that's nice. At some point, I might hang the lantern from one of these roofs, probably this one. I've also added some more kind of wild plants here, so I've got the grass as though someone has forgotten to garden it. And I've also basically exhausted my wood supplies again, which is good. Well, of course, why wouldn't I? So yeah, I'm going to go back and work on the smelter, methinks, because I'm getting a bit bored of this now. It's very complicated and it's using a lot of my brain power to do. And I need to think about how I'm going to do this and sort this corner out. It's not that bad over here because you can't see it really from afar. So you don't really notice it. But this side, when you're walking up, at least it's somewhat noticeable. So I'll see what I can do about that. Okay, I think I've basically fixed it. I might replace some of this with a lantern on top of here instead at some point, but for now it looks alright, and I'll work this in to the wall before I decide on what I'm actually going to do. Right, so I've realised I'm not going to be able to do this today because of the sheer amount of resources I'm going to need for this. So over the next few episodes, I'll grab enough cobble and enough stacks of wood and enough stone, because I need more stone for the blast furnaces. For each of these, to make a smoker, it's 4 wood logs, and blast furnace, it's 3 smooth stone and 5 iron, I think. So that's a lot of iron, not including the hoppers. So that's 16 for pulling out, 16 for fuel, and 16 for inputting actual materials. And that's 16 times 5, which is 80. That's 80 iron per row. Per row, yes, per row, and then you times that by 3, so that's 240 iron. Yeah, that is, I'm right. That's 240 iron per one of these. Not including the iron that's needed for the blast furnaces. So right now, I think I'll do this row, or at least half of this row, maybe 8 of them. I think that'll be good enough for the moment. And then I'll do the design on the back wall, and then I think I might call it quits. You know? Because this has been utterly nightmarish. Okay, anyway. Right, so I've been working on this, and I think I've got it mostly down. Sorry, morning voice. I think I've got it mostly down. I've made 48 chests. That was a bit of a nightmare. And I've got all these powered rails from I made the powered rails and got the other rails from the mines. I've also been working on the design, and I think I'm mostly happy with this. Obviously, this will be taken back. And I think I'm going to put shroom lights in the ceiling with glass underneath. And I think that'll cover it up nicely. As for around the back, that's a little more complicated. I'm not going to put anything in until I've finished the actual design of it. Otherwise, it might be a bit of a nightmare. Turns out it's quite difficult to talk in the morning, but anyway, let's make some hoppers, shall we? Chest in the middle. Now this isn't enough for 48, in fact it's barely enough for 38. Okay, right, what we're gonna have is some kind of input chest, and I think the input chest can be here. Obviously we're going to need to input fuel and not fuel. No, hang on. No, we need this, and we also need the output. We need input, fuel, output. What I will do is grab some stone bricks. Oh wow, they're already made. Perfect. Now, I do want it like this, so you can access it all from these 3 chests, but The more I think about that, the more I think it won't work, because I need to putting into the chest. That's fine. I can do that. This is perfectly easy. So the easiest way to do this, I think, would be to have it offset. Right, so thinking about it, I am going to have a good bit of room on the side. So I think I'll do something like this. Put a chest there. That can be for fuel, right? Right, I was thinking it's going to have a hopper underneath here and pull and then put it into the chest. But that would make this a little too bulky and use too many more hoppers. So I need to replace these. And that's workable, right? I can deal with that, and then I can put the bricks there. Right, so that's doable. I can put that there. Right, that doesn't transmit redstone through. Oh boy. Right. So I think it's done. The only thing I need to do, which might make it less compact, is fix a some kind of T flip-flop here so I can use a button instead of a lever. I think it's a T flip-flop. What I wanted to do is when I click the button, I want it to stay on. So I've just used a lever for now. Now, there is a problem with this, and that is being when this goes out and then comes back, it might get stuck under here. I don't know really how to fix it. I've tried extending that, but obviously when you go up and turn, it doesn't work. Ah! There's no room. There's no room anywhere. What am I supposed to do? Right, you know what? Screw it. Let's just test this out first and see what happens, right? Did it take any coal? It hasn't taken any coal. Why have you moved up? Why have you moved up? Right, anyway, I think it's to do with something with world guard, so I'll fix that. Throw the copper in on my own accord, I think. Yeah, throw it all in, whatever. Go, go, go. Do your worst. Which, in your case, is very much. Right. It kind of works. This is working. Oh, this is working perfectly. Look at what the... Oh. All things considered, not that bad. It's not taking anything out, is it? Yes, I didn't add that in. I didn't have enough hoppers. That's all right. Right, so this mostly works. I think I'll what the hell? Right, okay, so it is pulling out. Perfect. I think I'm done with this for this episode. Admittedly. Bit of a nightmare. I'll work around with this for the next episode and probably get more iron, because that's going to be an important part. Especially when I need 12 stacks to do all 3 of these rows. I will say, what I was planning to do at some point was create some kind of sorter system so you could simply put one thing in one chest, well, everything in one chest, and it'd take it off and put, say, coal in here, blaze rods, lava, you name it, and copper, iron, whatever, not diamonds, not emeralds, you know, stuff that goes in there, like gold and that. And then, obviously, with the smokers, meats and stuff, and with the actual blast furnaces, then the minerals and whatnot. Well, I think that's going to do it for this episode. This was a bit of a nightmare, but we did work on the houses. I've also added this stairway. I'm not particularly happy with it right now, but it's simply a work in progress. Tell you what, I might put some buttons on it. Just act so it's kind of pulled to the wall. You know how they have kind of those S shapes to hold walls up? Well, you will do if you need buildings, but still. So yeah, this is actually coming along quite nicely. Next episode will probably be caving related because I need a lot of iron. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I might go on an exploration of the world. I don't know. Oh, it's just a repeat. Just a repeat, or whatever the Americans say.